Well, I think a big part of it was telling it with care and as truthful as possible, because it does touch on subjects that are very obviously relevant, but that it strikes a nerve, and being told through us as the cast, I think we all had this pressure to try and do it justice. Yeah, I go check out some spots for an hour or so. You know, go to the pyramids, go see my grandpa, go see my dad. You know, maybe yeah, maybe go see the Titanic. I'm just kidding. I don't want to see it. How would I describe his evolution? I would say, first season he really wanted to kind of separate himself from his father and the Umbrella Academy, and trying to, this grudge fester inside of him. And in the second season, it's almost like he's coming back to it. He's coming back to his father's objective, which was to not let Kennedy die. Especially once you get going into the season, I think Diego really much was trying to understand his father and try to break away from the identity of not just the Umbrella Academy, but from being an actual hero. I don't think so. I really don't. I think it left it kind of open-ended. Obviously, failing to save JFK and meeting Dad and being kind of torn to pieces left him even with the wound even bigger. That I can be crazy and not be judged by it. That's really nice. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot of responsibility, I think, when you're carrying around some real knives around the set. But it was fun. I mean, I kind of walk around to roll it, at home. I'd be, they let me take some knives home. Obviously, they're dull, but, no one's going to walk around and slash the wrist. But, you could, if you're going through tight corners, those pointy things can actually get inside your skin. Well, you shoot. There's a non-chronological order that we shoot, so that can be tough sometimes. So you have to kind of keep a book in terms of where the character's going and where the storyline is, and making sure that you're kind of taking all aspects into account when you are going to one specific scene, because obviously you might be doing episode 5 and you haven't even shot episode 4, so you have to figure out where your character would go through that entire episode before you shoot this one scene. So but it's not a big deal, because obviously, when we get to sit down with Steve, he kind of gives us the map, of the character probably up until the end, because he keeps that to himself. So we're very much informed of what that's going to be. Well, I mean, you treat it like school, like when when you were like in elementary or middle school or high school, like you just get thrown things at you and you had to figure out on your own. And I think when I was put into this place, because I've never shot a full 6 months of a show, and the first season was very much kind of like I was going to school, and I was also getting paid for it. So I got to see and act and interact with these people who have been doing this for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. And so you kind of just learn to adapt really fast. And then the second season, I kind of just ran with the same kind of mentality. Very much so, and fun. Well, it's kind of like, it kind of varies, I think when it comes to trying to bring a character to life or tell a specific story, usually it parallels to just for me, it just parallels to my actual life. So for example, I'm sitting here in front of you and I see blue, and I'm looking at your polo, and your blue polo reminds you of elementary. Elementary that I went to is will have a memory about a certain moment I was drinking water out of a fountain and a kid made fun of me, and that moment in itself created a grudge towards that kid, and that is expanded and expands and expands and expands, and then I try to kind of implement that into character that I would play, something like that. I mean, it varies. People being nice, that inspires me. That sometimes I felt like asking questions was the most important thing to learn. But then I realized that asking the question comes more about being noticed and being seen and being perceived in a certain way. And I've learned that, hey buddy, how's it going? I've learned that actually observing is the best way for me. Observing. What book?
Yeah. Maybe a made-up book.
I don't know. A book of jokes would be good. You know, just like really cool, quirky jokes. You know, and a big fuck you at the end.